Have you ever heard of a man who conquered most of the known world before he turned 30? A military genius, a visionary leader, and a figure so legendary that his name still echoes through history over 2,000 years later. This is the story of Alexander the Great, a king who dared to dream of an empire stretching from Greece to India and almost made it a reality. Born in 356 BC in Pella, the capital of Macedonia, Alexander was no ordinary prince. His father was King Philip II, a brilliant military strategist who had transformed Macedonia from a backwater kingdom into a dominant Greek power. His mother was Olympias, a fiery and ambitious princess from a young age. Alexander was groomed for greatness. His education was entrusted to none other than the famous philosopher Aristotle, who taught him everything from rhetoric and literature to science and politics. Aristotle ignited in Alexander a lifelong passion for knowledge and a deep appreciation for Greek culture, something that would shape his entire reign. One of the most famous stories from his youth involves a wild horse named Bucephalus. No one could tame this magnificent stallion, but the young Alexander noticed the horse was afraid of its own shadow. He calmly turned Bucephalus towards the sun, mounted him, and rode him. Much to the astonishment of his father and the court, this horse would become his faithful companion, carrying him through countless battles across Asia. This single event showed everyone the qualities that would define him: intelligence, courage, and an extraordinary ability to see things others missed. In 336 BC, tragedy struck. King Philip II was assassinated, and at just 20 years old, Alexander ascended to the throne. His father had been planning a massive invasion of the Persian Empire, the superpower of the day. Many thought a young, inexperienced king would abandon such an ambitious plan. They were wrong. Alexander not only embraced his father's vision, but expanded it beyond anyone's imagination. First, he had to secure his own kingdom. He swiftly crushed rebellions in Greece, making a brutal example of the city of Thebes by razing it to the ground. This sent a clear message. Alexander was in command. With Greece pacified, Alexander turned his eyes east. In 334 BC, he crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor with an army of about 48,000 soldiers. It was a bold gamble against the mighty Persian Empire, which could field armies many times that size. His first major test came at the Battle of the Granicus River. Outnumbered, Alexander led a daring cavalry charge directly across the river and into the enemy lines, shattering the Persian formation. It was a stunning victory that opened the way into Asia Minor. Over the next year, he marched down the coast, liberating Greek cities that had been under Persian rule for centuries. But the Persian king Darius III was gathering a massive army to crush the young invader. The two forces met at Issus in 333 BC. The battlefield was a narrow coastal plain, which prevented Darius from using his superior numbers effectively, in a move that would become his signature tactic. Alexander identified a weak point in the Persian line and led his elite companion cavalry in a decisive charge straight at Darius himself. The Persian king panicked and fled, causing his entire army to collapse. Alexander captured Darius's family, including his mother, wife, and daughters, but treated them with the utmost respect and courtesy, a gesture that earned him admiration even among his enemies. Instead of pursuing Darius immediately, Alexander made a strategic move. He marched south to secure the entire Mediterranean coast, neutralizing the formidable Persian navy. He besieged the island city of Tyre for 7 long months, a feat of engineering that saw his army build a massive causeway to the island fortress. After conquering Tyre, he moved into Egypt. The Egyptians, who resented Persian rule, welcomed him as a liberator. They crowned him pharaoh and declared him a son of the god Amen. It was here, in 331 BC, that he founded the most famous of the many cities that would bear his name. Alexandria, a future hub of learning, culture, and commerce for centuries to come. With the entire Eastern Mediterranean under his control, Alexander was finally ready to face Darius for the last time. The final showdown took place at Gaugamela, on a wide-open plain in modern-day Iraq. This time, Darius had assembled an immense army, reportedly numbering as many as 250,000 men, including scythed chariots and war elephants. Alexander's army was less than a fifth of that size. The battle that followed is still studied today as a masterpiece of military strategy. Alexander used a complex formation, angling his flank to draw the Persian cavalry out, creating a gap in their center. Once again, he led the decisive charge straight for Darius. And once again, Darius fled. The Persian Empire, the largest the world had ever seen, effectively crumbled that day. Alexander marched into the heart of Persia, capturing the great cities of Babylon, Susa, and finally, the ceremonial capital, Persepolis. In a controversial act, he allowed his troops to loot the city before burning the grand palace of Xerxes, possibly as revenge for the Persian burning of Athens over a century earlier. With Darius on the run, Alexander declared himself the new king of Asia. The former king was eventually betrayed and killed by one of his own governors, a man named Best. Alexander, showing respect for his fallen rival, had Darius buried with full royal honors and then hunted down and executed Bessus for treason. But Alexander wasn't finished. His ambition was limitless. He believed his destiny was to reach the ends of the world and the great outer sea. He pushed his army further east, into lands the Greeks knew only through myth and legend, regions we now know as Afghanistan and Pakistan. The campaigns here were brutal, fought against fierce mountain tribes in unfamiliar and unforgiving terrain. It was during this time that he married Roxana, the daughter of a local chieftain, in a move to build alliances and integrate his new subjects. His desire to merge Greek and Persian cultures became a cornerstone of his policy. He started adopting some Persian customs, wearing Persian-style clothing, and introducing Persian court rituals. He even encouraged his soldiers to marry local women, culminating in a mass wedding ceremony at Susa, where thousands of his men took Persian wives. This policy of fusion, however, was not popular with his proud Macedonian veterans. They saw it as a betrayal of their traditions and felt their king was becoming more of a foreign despot than a Macedonian leader. Tensions grew, leading to conspiracies and even the execution of some of his most trusted generals. In 326 BC, Alexander reached the Hyphasis River in India. He had just won a hard-fought victory against King Porus and his war elephants at the Battle of the Hydas, but his army, exhausted after 8 years of constant marching and fighting, finally had enough. They were thousands of miles from home, deep in a strange and hostile land, with rumors of even larger armies waiting for them further east. Teymutinid refusing to go any further. A disappointed Alexander finally agreed to turn back. He never reached the end of the world. The journey home was as perilous as any battle. He split his forces, leading one part of the army through the treacherous Gedrosian desert, a disastrous march that cost the lives of thousands of his soldiers from thirst and starvation. When he finally returned to Babylon in 323 BC, he began planning his next great ventures, an expedition around the Arabian Peninsula and a potential invasion of Carthage and the Western Mediterranean. But these plans would never come to be. In June of 323 BC, after a prolonged bout of fever, possibly from malaria, typhoid, or poison, Alexander the Great died in the palace of Nebuchadnezzar II in Babylon. He was just 32 years old. On his deathbed, when asked who his vast empire should go to, he supposedly whispered, "To the strongest." His death without a clear heir plunged his empire into chaos. His generals, known as the Diadosia, or successors, immediately began fighting among themselves for control, carving up the empire into several Hellenistic kingdoms, like the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt and the Seleucid Empire in Asia. So what is Alexander's legacy? In just over a decade, he redrew the map of the ancient world. His conquests shattered the old empires and created a new, interconnected world. More importantly, He spread Greek language, culture, and ideas across a vast area, from Egypt to India. This blending of Greek and Eastern cultures kicked off what we now call the Hellenistic Age, a period of incredible innovation in science, philosophy, and art. The cities he founded became centers of this new world. He was a brilliant, ruthless, and visionary leader whose life was a whirlwind of impossible ambition and unparalleled success. Though his empire didn't survive him, his influence shaped the course of history for centuries, and his story continues to fascinate and inspire us to this day. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of one of history's most incredible figures, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. Let me know in the comments which historical figure you'd like to see covered next. See you in the next video.